Ladies and gentlemen, imagine standing in front of a locked door. Behind it lies everything you've ever dreamed of. Success, abundance, fulfillment. You have the key, but the problem is you don't even realize you're holding it. That key is your subconscious mind. It has been programmed since the day you were born, shaped by the voices of parents, teachers, society, sometimes lifting you up, but more often than not, filling your mind with doubt, limitations, and fear. It whispers, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, people like you don't achieve things like that. And here's the catch. Whether you realize it or not, you've been listening. Think about the last time you hesitated before stepping into something new, maybe an opportunity, a challenge, or even a conversation that required courage. That tiny voice that held you back, that wasn't just doubt. That was your subconscious mind running an old script, one that was written long before you even realized it was there. Your subconscious is like a quiet, unseen architect shaping the structure of your life without you even knowing. It's not just influencing your decisions, it's determining them. Research suggests that up to 95% of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors come from patterns embedded deep within our subconscious. That means most of what we do, how we respond to opportunities, how we handle failure, how we define success, isn't coming from conscious choice, but from conditioning. And here's the part that's hard to swallow. Much of that conditioning wasn't even yours to begin with. It was passed down from parents who told you to play it safe, teachers who set limits on what you could achieve, and a society that convinced you success is reserved for a select few. You absorbed these ideas not because they were true, but because repetition made them feel like truth. But what if that truth was never yours to begin with? What if you've been living inside a belief system that was designed to keep you small? What if every time you convinced yourself you weren't good enough, it was just a reflection of someone else's fears, not your actual potential? The good news is, just as the subconscious can be programmed, it can be reprogrammed. The narratives you've been carrying are not permanent. The limits you believe in are not real. If your subconscious has been working against you, you have the power to make it work for you. But it starts with awareness. It starts with questioning every old belief that whispers you can't and replacing it with watch me. Because the truth is you are not limited. You never were. You've just been taught to believe you are. And the moment you decide to unlearn that lie, you step into the kind of success that was always meant for you. The moment you took your first breath, the world began shaping you. Before you could even speak, you were absorbing the words, the emotions, the unspoken rules of the people around you. Your mind was wide open like fertile soil, and every experience, every interaction, every whispered warning or loving encouragement became a seed planted deep within you. You didn't get to choose those seeds. Some were nurturing beliefs that made you feel capable, loved, and limitless, but many of them were laced with fear, with doubt, with the unfulfilled dreams of those who came before you. You heard phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, be realistic, people like us don't get those kinds of opportunities. And over time, those words became part of you, not because they were true, but because they were repeated. In the subconscious mind, it doesn't analyze, it doesn't argue, it simply absorbs. Think about that for a moment. How many of the thoughts that run through your mind each day actually belong to you? How many of the fears you carry were given to you before you even had a chance to question them? If you grew up in a home where struggle was the norm, your subconscious built an identity around that. If you were surrounded by people who believed success was for other people, your subconscious accepted it as reality. Not because it was fact, but because it was familiar. But here's the truth that changes everything. Just because you were programmed a certain way doesn't mean you have to stay that way. The same mind that absorbed limitations can unlearn them. The same subconscious that held you back can be reconditioned to propel you forward. And that starts with challenging every belief that makes you feel small. You are not the product of your past, you are the creator of your future. And the moment you decide to rewrite the story, everything changes. There's a moment in life when you stand at the edge of something bigger than yourself, a dream, a goal, a version of you that feels just out of reach. And just as you're about to step forward, something invisible pulls you back. A whisper in your mind, a tightening in your chest, a familiar voice saying, "Who do you think you are?" That voice isn't the truth. It's just an echo of an old belief buried deep in your subconscious, telling you that success isn't meant for you. Your subconscious mind is powerful, but it's not a visionary. It doesn't dream or create, it repeats. It replays every story you've ever been told about what you can and cannot do. And if you've been carrying the weight of, "I'm not good enough, I always mess up," or "people like me don't succeed," those words aren't just thoughts. They are invisible barriers shaping every decision you make. You don't reach for opportunities not because they aren't there, but because your mind is programmed to believe they aren't meant for you. You hesitate to take action, not because you aren't capable, but because somewhere along the way you were taught that failure is permanent. But here's the truth. Those beliefs are not facts. They are habits. They are patterns. They are stories passed down from people who were afraid, who were limited, who didn't know they had the power to change. And if they are just stories, that means you can rewrite them. The moment you recognize that your subconscious is not your destiny, you take back your power. You start choosing new beliefs, ones that serve you instead of sabotage you. You stop accepting fear as truth. You stop shrinking to fit into the version of yourself that feels safe. And most importantly, you start acting not from the limitations of your past, but from the limitless potential of your future. Your mind has been wired to keep you in place, but you were never meant to stay where you are. The only thing standing between you and the success you want is an old story. And today, right now, you get to decide, will you keep living that story or will you finally write a new one? Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are reinforcing a narrative about who you are and what you're capable of. It happens in the smallest moments. When you brush off a compliment instead of accepting it, when you hesitate to speak up because you assume your voice doesn't matter, when you tell yourself, "I'm just not that kind of person." These aren't just passing thoughts, they are instructions given over and over again to your subconscious, shaping the way you show up in the world. Your subconscious doesn't challenge these thoughts, it doesn't argue, it doesn't stop to ask, "Is this true?" It simply listens and obeys. If you repeatedly tell yourself you're not good enough, not worthy, not capable, your subconscious accepts that as law. And here's the real danger. It will work relentlessly to make sure your reality matches those beliefs. It will filter out opportunities that don't align with them. It will push you towards self-sabotage when things start going right. Not because it's trying to hurt you, but because its job is to keep you consistent with the story you believe about yourself. But if your subconscious is programmable, if it can be taught to limit you, it can also be taught to empower you. You have the ability to interrupt the old patterns, to rewrite the script, to decide right now that the story you've been living is not the only one available to you. It starts with awareness, catching yourself in those small moments and choosing a different response. It's looking in the mirror and deciding to see strength instead of inadequacy. It's speaking success into your life before you even see it, because what you tell yourself today is what your subconscious will create tomorrow. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending life is perfect. It's about taking ownership of the one thing you can always control, your mind. It's about realizing that every word, every thought, every belief you reinforce is either pushing you forward or holding you back. And if you truly want to manifest success, you must stop waiting for proof and start creating it within yourself first. Because when your subconscious believes in your power, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by becoming the person who believes they are worthy of it. The world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you expect, what you truly believe is possible for you. And belief isn't just a thought you entertain, it's the foundation upon which your entire reality is built. Think about the moments when doubt has whispered in your ear, convincing you to play small. That wasn't the universe rejecting you, it was your subconscious mind reinforcing what it has always known. If, deep down, you believe success is for other people, that belief will quietly shape your actions, your decisions, your energy. You won't even realize it's happening. You'll procrastinate on the things that could move you forward. You'll dismiss opportunities that feel too good to be true. You'll self-sabotage just before you break through. And every time you do, your subconscious will say, see, this is just who we are. But here's the truth that changes everything. You don't become successful and then believe you're capable. You believe you're capable first, and success follows. If your subconscious mind is programmed with certainty, if it knows without a doubt that you are meant for something greater, it will move mountains to prove itself right. It will push you toward the right people, the right decisions, the right opportunities, because that's what the subconscious does. It protects and enforces what it believes to be true. So the question is, what truth are you reinforcing? Are you telling yourself a story of limitations, or are you choosing a belief system that elevates you? Are you waiting for evidence before you trust in yourself, or are you willing to decide right now, before the proof exists, that you are already enough? Success isn't about luck. It isn't even about talent. It's about belief. Unshakable, relentless belief in who you are and what you are here to do. And when you finally align your subconscious mind with that truth, the world will rearrange itself to meet you at the level of your expectations. Your mind is a storyteller, weaving together the past, the present, and the future into a narrative that shapes how you see yourself and the world. And whether that story is one of possibility or one of limitation depends on what you feed it, day in and day out. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It only knows what you tell it, what you show it, what you make it feel. That's why visualization and affirmations aren't just motivational tools. They are the language of the subconscious, the way you communicate with the part of your mind that is always listening, always absorbing, always shaping your reality. Think about the last time you doubted yourself. That doubt wasn't just a random thought. It was the result of years of conditioning, years of seeing yourself through the lens of past failures, criticisms, and limitations. But what if, instead, your subconscious was filled with images of your success? What if it only knew confidence, resilience, and an unwavering belief in your own greatness? How different would your actions be? How different would your life be? When you close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your subconscious registers that experience as real. The emotions, the sensations, the energy of that vision become part of you, rewiring your brain to seek out and create that reality. When you repeat affirmations with conviction, you are not just speaking words, you are reshaping the foundation of your beliefs. You are replacing the old, worn-out stories of self-doubt with new truths that empower you. This isn't about wishful thinking. This is about training your mind to work for you instead of against you. Every time you visualize your success, you are strengthening the neural pathways that make it possible. Every time you affirm your worth, you are drowning out the old voices that told you otherwise. Your subconscious will believe whatever you tell it, whatever you show it, whatever you repeat with enough emotion. The question is, are you feeding it images of the life you want, or are you reinforcing the fears that hold you back? Because what you see in your mind is what you will eventually see in your life. You are not just a product of your thoughts, you are a product of your environment. The spaces you walk into, the voices you listen to, the energy you surround yourself with all leave an imprint on your subconscious mind. Without even realizing it, you absorb the beliefs, fears, and expectations of those around you. If you are constantly surrounded by people who complain, who see the world through the lens of scarcity, who believe success is reserved for other people, that becomes the background noise of your life. And over time, that noise turns into your own internal dialogue. Not because it's true, but because repetition makes things feel real. If everyone around you believes in limitations, failure, and playing small, your subconscious will accept that as the norm. And the norm is where we feel safe, even when it's not where we belong. But here's the beautiful thing. Just as negativity can shape you, so can possibility. When you surround yourself with people who think bigger, who see potential instead of obstacles, who believe in their own success, something shifts. Their language becomes your language. Their energy becomes your energy. Your subconscious starts recognizing a new reality, one where success isn't a rare miracle, but an expectation. Think about the spaces you move through every day, the books you read, the conversations you have, the content you consume. Are they lifting you higher or holding you back? Are they reinforcing the life you want or the life you're trying to escape? You cannot reprogram your subconscious while staying in the same energy that created your doubts in the first place. You must be intentional about what you allow into your mind. The people you surround yourself with are either fueling your growth or feeding your fears. The choice is yours. Will you keep listening to voices that tell you to stay where you are, or will you seek out the ones that remind you of where you're meant to go? Because if success is what you want, then success must be the conversation, the energy, the environment you choose to be in every single day. Belief alone is not enough. You can visualize, affirm, and rewire your subconscious all you want, but at some point you have to step forward and act. Action is what takes your beliefs from theory to reality. It is the bridge between the person you are and the person you are becoming. But here's where most people get stuck. They wait. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the fear to disappear. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect circumstances. And in that waiting, they reinforce the very doubts they are trying to overcome. Because every time you hesitate, every time you tell yourself not yet, your subconscious registers that hesitation as truth. It assumes we must not be capable yet, we must not be worthy yet. And so the cycle continues. The truth is, confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. You don't wake up one day suddenly feeling fearless. You build courage by moving forward despite the fear. You don't suddenly become successful and then start acting like a successful person. You step into the behaviors, the mindset, the discipline of success first, and the results follow. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition, through experience, through proof. And the fastest way to give it proof is to take action, even when it's uncomfortable. When you act as if you are already the person you want to be, your mind takes notice. It starts to believe, this is who we are now. And once your subconscious believes it, the world starts reflecting it back to you. You cannot think your way into success. You must embody it. You must walk into rooms like you belong there, speak about your dreams like they are inevitable, and show up for yourself like you are already worthy of the life you desire. Because you are. And the moment you start acting like it, your subconscious will have no choice but to believe it too. Success is not a single moment of triumph. It's the sum of everything you do, everything you think, everything you believe in the quiet spaces where no one is watching. It's not a finish line you cross one day and suddenly become unstoppable. It's a daily commitment, a conscious decision to show up for yourself again and again, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. Reprogramming your subconscious mind isn't about flipping a switch and suddenly never doubting yourself again. The old stories will still try to whisper in your ear. The fear will still show up uninvited. The patterns you've carried for years won't just vanish overnight. And that's okay, because success isn't about never facing doubt. It's about deciding every single time it appears that you will not let it define you. Think about the most successful people in the world, not the ones who got lucky, but the ones who built something real, something lasting. They didn't get there because they never struggled. They got there because they refused to let their struggles write their story. They kept choosing belief over fear. They kept reinforcing their vision even when there was no evidence yet. They kept doing the work, not just in their actions, but in their mindset every single day. You don't have to be fearless to be successful. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to commit. Commit to challenging every thought that tells you you're not enough. Commit to surrounding yourself with the right voices. Commit to showing up as the person you know you are meant to be, even before you feel ready. Because success doesn't come to the most talented, the most privileged, or the most fortunate. It comes to the ones who decide day after day, moment after moment, that they are already worthy of it. And when your subconscious finally believes that truth, the rest of the world will have no choice but to believe it too. Every single thing you desire, the success, the confidence, the life you dream of, is already within you. It's not locked away in some distant future waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. It's not reserved for those who had better opportunities, better luck, or fewer struggles. It is yours the moment you decide to claim it. The only thing standing in your way is the story your subconscious mind has been telling you. The world has conditioned you to believe in limitations. It has handed you narratives of fear, scarcity, and self-doubt, not because they are true, but because they have been repeated for so long that they feel true. But now you know better. Now you understand that your subconscious is not your enemy. It is your most powerful tool. It is always listening, always shaping, always responding to what you feed it. And when you change the input, you change the outcome. So what will you choose? Will you keep reinforcing the old beliefs that have held you back, or will you rewrite the script? Will you keep waiting for proof that you are capable, or will you decide right here, right now that you already are? Will you shrink to fit the expectations of a world that underestimates you, or will you rise into the fullest expression of who you were always meant to be? Reprogramming your subconscious mind is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice, a lifelong commitment to choosing thoughts that empower you, actions that align with your vision, and environments that elevate you. Some days will be harder than others. Some days the old beliefs will fight to stay alive. But every time you choose to believe in yourself, every time you take one step forward despite the doubt, every time you show up as the version of yourself that already exists within you, you are proving to your subconscious and to the world that success is not just possible, it is inevitable. This is your moment. This is your story. And it is time for you to write it the way it was always meant to be written, not from a place of fear, but from a place of power, not from a place of limitation, but from a place of limitless potential, not from a place of waiting, but from a place of knowing that everything you have ever needed has been within you all along. Now, go claim it.